All right, how we doing, Giants Nation? It is now, as of day I'm recording this, week 4 of the NFL season. We are about to go against our heated rival, the Dallas Cowboys, on Thursday Night Football, prime time. But before we do that, I neglected to go over week 3, where we got our first win against the Cleveland Browns. Got caught up in a lot of things, so I figured let's do both in one video. So we'll briefly go over week 3, and then we'll go into, talking about week 4, what we could possibly see, what I think will probably happen. And yeah. So let's start with week 3. So week 3 of the 24-25 NFL season, Giants finally get their first win against the Cleveland Browns. Final score, Giants 21, Cleveland Browns 15. So we'll start from the top. I want you to make sure you remember where you were, what you were thinking when you saw the first few minutes of the game. Because to be completely honest, I actually missed the first half of the entire game. Because again, I was doing a lot of stuff. But I managed to rewatch it. And man, I couldn't imagine where I would have been if I was there seeing that first series live, because it was dreadful. I mean, this kind of start was the kind of start that we Giants fans have been used to seeing every now and then from this team. I mean, just the absolute worst possible things that could happen would happen one by one. Started out when the Giants received the opening kickoff. Eric Gray runs it back, gets tackled, and fumbles it. And the Browns recover on the very first play. So you're already like, man, here we go. Kickoff issues still here, even since last year. Unfortunately, our starting kickoff returner, Gunnar Olszewski, I believe, that's how you pronounce that. He's injured, still injured, so we've been putting our second string running back, Eric Gray, back there. And not going so good so far. And so, of course, on the very next play, Deshaun Watson throws a touchdown pass to Amari Cooper. And here we go. Already with the BS, down 7-0. Worst possible start you could possibly have. I mean, there's nothing worse. When you receive the ball, fumble it, and then the other team scores a touchdown the next play, that's literally the worst two things that could happen outside of someone important getting injured as well. So already we were just like, okay, well, we're going to go 0-3. Everyone's getting fired. We're going to be back to square one again as a team. I mean, you could say I'm overreacting, but as a fan at the time, let's just be honest. Like, that's exactly what we've all been thinking. Now, next Giants possession, of course, we had a 4-and-out. So, again, not looking good. Woe is me. We're going to go 0-17. It's all over. But the next possession, the next Browns possession, something happened that we didn't see enough of, honestly. Well, I guess we saw a little bit in the Washington game, but we need to see more of this from our defense. Dexter Lawrence to the rescue. Third down, gets a sack. And that, I believe, was the shadow of things to come. That, I believe, is where it all began for us to go uphill. Dexter Lawrence, our best defensive player, probably the best player on our team. Not even probably, I'd say the best player on our team, went ahead and started it off. 4 sack to Deshaun Watson, forcing them to kick it off. Now, the next possession. This is where, and I'm not even being dramatic when I say this. This right here was the literal fork in the road for this season, potentially. On the very next possession, on the very first play, Daniel Jones throws a pick six to the Cleveland Browns. Now, I know us as fans, when we see that, we're just immediately thinking Daniel Jones sucks. This is completely on him. He screwed this up. He threw the dumbest gimme pick ever. Because I'm not really, how you call it? I don't have like the all 22 in front of me. I'm not the most knowledgeable as far as like what specific play was going on. Was it completely on Jones? Was it a wrong route or a missed read or something? Wrong route because I believe he was throwing to Theo Johnson. So maybe Theo Johnson got the play wrong. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of things that could go on in the pick. It's not always just quarterback dumb, So I don't know what happened, but either way, pick six. If that thing goes through, I don't know if this team comes back. I just feel like it feels like when things go as wrong as they did for us at that point, it never really comes back. It's not that we're front runners. It's just that we're just so used to such tragedy that you could just feel that when things like this start to happen, that this team doesn't really have it in us to come back. Whether that's the quarterback or the receivers or the line or the coaching or the defense, whatever. It just when things start out bad, I just don't feel like we have the team quite yet to bounce back. But luckily, that pick six did not go through because of a roughing the passer penalty. Now, of course, the pick had already happened. The roughing the passer really had no bearing on what actually happened, but because of the rules and because of how the refs call things, the play has to get redone. Now, did we get bailed out? Yes, we definitely 1,000% got bailed out. But I'm not really sorry about it because if you remember, the first two games we've had penalties that stifled our momentum and possibly stopped what would have been very positive results for us multiple times against there was at least one big time against the Vikings. I can't remember exactly what it was, and a couple times against the Commanders. So a lot of times we have those type of calls come after us, like a team that can rarely ever have good things happen to us. The one time something good happens, it seems like a penalty always comes out from somewhere for something that didn't even completely affect the play. And it happens to every team. It happens all the time. So I don't feel that bad. It is what it is, right? But so that happened and we were able to, try again. And after that, we get to the 4th and 1. 4th and 1, and considering our start, if we don't get this, possibly the same doldrums we would have had if we had gotten that pick six through happen here. Oh no, this team can't get it done. We're behind the 8 ball. We can't score. We can't convert. Woe is us. But Brian Dable decides, I had enough of this. We're going for it. The safe option obviously is to punt it off because I can't remember exactly where we were, but I don't think we were too far down the field. I'm pretty sure we were back in our side of the field. So going forward on 4th down, I mean, in the new analytics world, probably not that strange. I mean, 4th and 1, but just because it's us, it was a big deal. This kind of play calling that we've seen from Brian Dable today reminds me of 2022. Okay, we might not have the best quarterback. Okay, we might not have the best pieces, but damn it, I'm Brian Dable. I'm an offensive coordinator. I've been coaching in this league for a long time. We're gonna get this. And so what do? They put it in the hands of your best offensive player, our number one, our first round draft pick, Malik Neighbors, gets it on the end around. Boom, first down, gets just the amount of yards we needed. So after a long 7-minute drive, capped off with a 1-yard run by Devin Singletary, touchdown Giants, 7-7. And that right there, that drive is vintage 2022 Giants. We keep the ball, we just keep the chains moving. Nothing looks too spectacular, but it takes time off the clock and it's capped off with points. People always kill Jones for the amount of touchdowns he threw and the amount of points we actually scored every game, but that is the recipe for us to actually win. Whether or not it's, whether or not it's sexy or not, sure, maybe it's not sexy, but that is Giants football, at least for us in the recent, history. Keeping the ball away, getting the chunk yards, getting the first downs, converting, matriculating the ball down the field, eventually getting the score, and playing solid defense. That is how we win. And I'm cool with it. Whatever. Let's just win. So we got our first touchdown. We're really feeling good. We're feeling great. And the defense, I have to shout y'all out. Defense definitely showed up this game. And ultimately was why we won this game from start to finish. This defense was great. On the next Brown possession after that touchdown from us, we managed to sack Deshaun Watson twice in a row on second down and third down. Defense overall combined for 8 sacks for this game, which is fantastic. Fantastic. And I do want to shout out the defensive ends of our team, Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, because I was really critical on you guys in the last video. Maybe a little, like I said, maybe a little too critical, because I understand that the Washington Commanders definitely had a plan, which was to get the ball out quick, not really allow the defensive line to get pressure. Now, should y'all have played better? Yes, but I can kind of understand based on scheme and all that. And after what we've seen the Commanders do to the Cincinnati Bengals this past weekend, just like the Vikings, I feel like the Commanders are a much better team than we thought they were. So maybe those 2 losses don't seem so bad, especially the Commanders' loss being that if we had a kicker, it's likely maybe we win. The game changes, but I gave ourselves a great chance to win that game. So it's possible that this 1-2 start from us is a lot better than some other teams' 1-2s, and definitely some other teams' 0-3s. So if there's something positive to take out of that, it's that we lost to what looks to be 2 very good teams in this league. So take that for what you will. But yes, Kayvon, Brian Burns, they showed up. They had some tackles. They had some pressures. Brian Burns especially had a very, very key strip sack and fumble recovery. I think Chapman recovered the fumble. But yes, Brian Burns definitely strip sacked Deshaun Watson, which is very, very obviously a big play in this game. Because after that very play is when we scored our third of 3 touchdowns that we scored in the first half. So speaking of touchdowns, Malik Neighbors. I mean, again, for the 3rd video in a row, what else do I need to say about Malik Neighbors? He is him. When you draft someone in the first round, you want them to come out and play like this, to have an immediate impact. Obviously, there's growing pains, whatever. But when you throw them the ball, they do what they're supposed to do. When they catch the ball, they get the yards after run that they need to. And they show the league and everyone around why they were picked where they were picked. And Malik Neighbors has done that and more. He's a special player. I don't need to go on for minutes about the guy. I think every fan in this fan base, and even fans outside this fan base, understand who Malik Neighbors is and, how important he has been to this team starting out. No doubt, guy will be a star. That's all that needs to be said. 12 targets, 8 receptions, for 72 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bravo, Malik Neighbors. Keep it up, young man. Very, very, very happy you're on our team. So now we're going to go over our week 4 matchup versus the Cowboys. So I went back and watched the highlights of the Cowboys versus the Ravens. And I saw some things I was a little surprised about, coming from a team that stomped us out for so many years. But that's the Cowboys for you. They'll kill us, but they go up against a real team. And they look like I don't know how this team does it. I don't get it. Somehow they win 10. They get 10 wins a season, 11 wins, 12 wins, and then this kind of game against the Ravens happens in the playoffs every time. They do just enough to keep their fan base so excited. Just for what? I mean, it's something, man. It's something. So as much as they beat us and they put me in a bad mood, the fact that always happens at the end of the season always makes it better. And we might be seeing a shadow of that as well from this Ravens game, but let's not worry about that. We have to eventually beat them, and that's more important to me. So, but first, let's talk about the game. They came off a brutal loss to the Ravens. Final score 28-25, but the score does not really indicate how bad they played. The middle of the third quarter, these jokers were down 28-6. And I mean, every other highlight was somebody with the ball in their hands running for 20 yards, shaking off tackles just over and over. The defense of the Cowboys, it's like they either stomp you into the ground or they get stomped on. It's the most front-running defense I've ever seen in my life. Nothing changed. Nothing has changed. Nothing. I don't know what's going on. So, Derrick Henry, 25 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson, 14 carries, 87 yards, 1 touchdown. Justice Hill, 5 carries, 33 yards. I mean, now, yes, this is the Ravens. Yes, they have a phenomenal run game. There's no question. We all knew this. My question is if the Cowboys knew this. Like, you guys know that this team loves to run the ball. How in the world do you let this happen? Well, I guess unless I'm the one trying to tackle Derrick Henry, I wouldn't know. But Cowboys, come on. Like, this has been an issue for y'all for far too long. So I expected better, but maybe I shouldn't. This is crazy. Now, O-line as well. I want to point out the O-line. Not just the defense, the O-line. Looked a little shaky. Just a little shaky. I'm not sure if they have any injuries or maybe they have any rookies on the line. I don't know. But O-line looked a little shaky. They only gave up 2 sacks, but both of those sacks were off of the stunt. Kyle Van Noy got 2 sacks off of a defensive stunt. You know, where the defender goes over here, stops, comes back to the other gap, and it just every single time it caught him off guard. I saw a line that looked a little, hesitant, not really sure where they're going. But because Dak Prescott is the experienced veteran here, he pretty much made it work no matter what. Like, for the most part, he made it work. So I know a lot of the fans on the Cowboys side are talking about Dak Prescott in the same way we talk about Daniel Jones, which is crazy to think because Dak Prescott, to my estimation, to most people's estimation, is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. The tape doesn't lie and the numbers don't lie. The only comparable thing are the amount of playoff wins, which is crazy to think about, but I don't think there's a question who's a better quarterback. I'm watching these highlights, and there's a lot of long long passes down the field, completions on 3rd and long to a bunch of people. It wasn't just 2 receivers. He was throwing it to a whole bunch of receivers and doing a pretty good job at it too. So I really don't know what people are saying when they say Dak is trash. I mean, do I think he's the greatest quarterback ever? No. Do I think he's top 5 quarterback in this league? I don't know, but definitely top 10 and definitely good enough to win you some games. But like I said, I'm not going to argue with a Cowboys fan about their view of Dak Prescott, the team, defense, whatever. You watch the games more in depth than I do, obviously, so you probably know more. But to my eyes, it doesn't look like to me that Dak Prescott is the problem of this team playing the field. Maybe the money allocation, maybe you got me there. Should we pay Dak that much money with not that many playoff wins and not allocate the money to other parts of the team that are sorely needed? Yeah, you got me there. But as far as playing the game, no. Dak Prescott looked to me, was pretty much the reason you guys almost won the game. Because in the end, starting in the 4th quarter, Dak Prescott basically scores 3 touchdowns. One of them was just a QB sneak run to the end zone, but the other 2 were really good passes to number 3 receivers and stuff. So, no, to me, Dak Prescott was not the reason you guys lost this game. That defense, giving up that many running yards, keeping Dak off the field, keeping the Ravens on the field, burning off all that clock all game, to me was the death note for y'all. That defense, and I mean, you see clips of Micah Parsons fighting with D-Law on the sideline and all that, just looking a little shaky. Now, that's them against the Ravens. They're obviously, fan base wise, I would imagine, are in a panic mode. If they were to lose this game against us, it would be, I mean, we thought us losing to the Commanders, who we always beat, was terrible. No. If the Cowboys lose to the New York Giants, there will be an atomic bomb going off in Cherry World in T-minus, like, it's gonna be absolute mayhem. Now, with that being said, do I think that will happen? No. See, our team, the Ravens are able to put up that many points against them. We don't have the running game that the Ravens do. Yes, we have a mobile quarterback, but he's not like Lamar Jackson where it's like quick. No, Daniel Jones is more straight line, bootleg type speed. Get around and get to the first down and get out of bounds. He's not really a downfield runner. We probably don't want him doing that anyway because of the injury guarantee on his contract. So I don't see that. We're going to see some QB keepers to get like the first down and stuff like that. We're not going to see any explosive plays, to my estimation, I don't think, from neither Singletary or Daniel Jones on the ground. But I mean, as long as it's good enough to get the first down, we'll probably end up doing that. But like I said, I don't see us running against the Cowboys like the Ravens did. So could we though? We could. And to be honest, we do have a secret weapon, Tyrone Tracy Jr. I feel like he has the ability to kind of do what some of those Ravens runners did. He has the speed, he has the quickness, he has the know-how. He was basically a wide receiver and a running back during his college times. He kind of went back and forth. So he has the running back know-how. So I'm sure he'll definitely be. We've been utilizing him the last couple games more so than even Eric Gray. So he's going to be used. I have no doubt. I'm sure Dable has great plans for Tyrone Tracy Jr. So we'll probably see that in this game. I'm willing to bet. Yeah, I don't think we're going to have the same running success. And as far as throwing the ball against them, we'll have to see. I don't know how good the Cowboys secondary is. I mean, Lamar did kind of throw against them, but let's be honest, the run game had them boys spooked. So that was probably more so of that than the secondary being exposed, I would say, but I don't know. We'll see. Um, I'm sure we can get some passes on them. I'm sure. The biggest problem for us against the Cowboys for many years has been the trenches play. So the D line has been able to get tons of pressure, tons of stunts. Offensive line's never been able to pick them up, and they basically sacked Daniel Jones multiple times. As we've seen the first 2 weeks, our offensive line has been so much better than it has in a long time. This is probably the best line we've seen since our last Super Bowl. And by the numbers, we're probably a little bit above average, which shows you how bad we've been. But it's been good. So I think we'll be able to pick up these stunts a little bit better. Hopefully, we'll be able to give Daniel Jones the most amount of time he's ever had playing against the Cowboys, hopefully. And maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see what we can do against throwing against them. But don't have much data, honestly. Recent data, anyways. With all that being said, I don't think we'll beat them today. I'm hoping they can prove me wrong. I so want to be wrong. Giants, if you could do this for me, I'd be so grateful. And I'm sure this entire fan base would be as well. So put in the comments, what you think I'm crazy? You think I'm too down on my team? Do you like our chances to actually beat the Cowboys and put them in full-blown panic mode? Again, I hope so, but I want to hear thoughts in the comments. But until next video, I appreciate y'all listening, and hey, let's see what we can do today. Go Giants, and go Giants. God bless you. Have a great day.